So last video I actually tried to record it, but lucky me, the did not download correctly or anything. So on to the next one. This is a lamp that I actually made out of spare parts, hanging around here. At the bottom here we have a used crankshaft pulley, water pump. That's why it still turns, which is pretty freaking awesome. I used the cord from a little miniature shop vac that was over here that doesn't really pick up too much of any dirt whatsoever. There's a socket up under there with a hose clamp, another hose clamp here with electrical tape that holds up the whole assembly, which it's not too bad for being, you know what I mean, used parts and recycling. Like, it's pretty dang sturdy. Like, this is obviously the electrical socket here. Anyway, you can pick up the whole thing from the whole top right there, just from the electrical socket itself. So I think I've got it pretty well. Now that replaces the one that was on there. And the only reason I made that was because this was on the corner of my desk right there, okay, and it vibrated everything down. So, of course, lucky me, I went ahead and used my brain, and this is the lamp that was on here before. And it was, you know, not bad for a lamp, but, you know, you can't grind anything because the vibrations are just way too much, and it was kind of messing with my OCD. So I wanted to take that off of there. You can kind of see, excuse the mess, I'm always a messy person, but you know, the holes, they were right there, the whole line and everything. So that is where it was, and like I said, everything would just come falling and raining down. So I'm just done with it. So I'm gonna go ahead, and now that this is here and made, I can put that up there. That's not too shabby. It's a pretty good light for just you know, making this in the garage real quick. Speaking of projects in the garage, this is my original motor from the Nissan 350Z. It is the Rev Up version. So lucky me, I got the early version of the Rev Up where it just blew up on me out of nowhere. I was just cruising, like it was about 6 minutes after I started actually going, proper warm-up time, and it just started misfiring, and then I shut it down and it just never wanted to restart correctly again. So I parked it before I did too much destruction to it or anything like that, and I went ahead and let it set outside, which is not the greatest, you know, place for a motor to sit, especially when it's uncovered and things like that. But I went ahead and started trying to clean it up and break everything loose because it was completely locked. And when I say locked, I mean you could stand on that and it just would not budge whatsoever. So I went ahead and I actually make a lubricant that I put inside of the actual cylinder walls here and it broke it loose within a matter of like 15 minutes. It was moving, so I was very, very happy about that. That lubricant, ow, who put that there? That lubricant is this right here, which doesn't look like much, but this stuff here works so well. I really cannot complain whatsoever. I've had a few of my friends actually try it, and they're semi-amazed with how quickly it actually broke some things loose and made things run smoother. So I usually tend to drop that and things like, oh, well, let me show you here. See, like, you know, you start to use things for a while and they get rusty and they don't want to move nearly as well on its own. So I go ahead and I just drop some in all the joints, and it works better than WD-40, and I just cannot complain about that whatsoever, because for them to have the 40th formula, I am really let down by just the overall performance of WD-40. I'm definitely not a believer in WD-40. This broke loose. This was stuck just a little bit. I was trying to find... This was broke loose. This was completely locked, and I don't think you can probably tell on the video, but this thing turns with ease. Like, it is really nice to actually have. So I like it. It works well. It worked out for that motor, which again is the VQ35DE rev up version, which I will be rebuilding sometime this year, next year, sometime soon. I'd like to have a spare motor for my vehicle, just in case that one goes out, which seems like it's running pretty well, but you know, you never know what's going to happen, especially with these 350Z motors. This right here is a, does it say it on this side? No, it does not say it on this side. Okay, well, this right here is a 2JZ GE motor.
Wow.
That's non-turbo factory, non-turbo. And I have all the pieces and parts for that. This is all the way broken down. It does need some cylinder wall love. This was something that was sitting outside as well. But when you look at it in the light, which I don't think I can, where's my light at? Anyway. Oh, wow, look at that. Anyway. There's still hash markings in areas and everything, so I don't think it's ruined by any matter. Worst case scenario, I think I might have to oversize the pistons, maybe the rings, just a hair to take care of the, you know, after I get this all honed out. But this is another option for my vehicle, but I backed out of this option simply because the conversion kit is close to $2 grand just for the conversion kit alone, and I'm not a guy that likes to spend, you know, $200,000 just to have 700 horsepower or something. I don't know, I'm just not that guy. So I will be working on that, or that will be out of here at some point in time. But that is another option for my car. 2JZ GE. That's the original VQ35DE rev up version, and the one that's in the actual car now is the later half of the rev up, so it's not burning nearly any oil. So I am really happy about that. This is a whole bin full of VQ35DE parts. It's basically another spare whole motor that goes with that. Pretty much everything that came off of this motor went in there for the most part. I have two more of these large totes here in the back corner. If you could see the blue one past all this stuff here. There you go. That one and that one is 2JZ parts, so that ought to be interesting. I do have two front sumps. If anybody needs an extra front sump or anything like that assembly, then I have that oil pan assembly, two of them here for the 2JZ. But just let me know. Regardless, that's another project that is going on around here as well. And while using my brain, I thought, hey, you know what? I've got a spare set of tires because it... Can you even see that? God. Okay, here's it. Whoa. Oh, okay. Alright, what was in that? Oh, it's like stuff in there. Anyway, nothing really important. Alright, so I got a spare set of rims, and I just don't like the offset of them, but they were going to be drift spares. And these tires I don't think are going to work too well, even when drifting. I really don't think, if I can see if I can, yeah, I don't think this is gonna, yeah, it may not hold air. So yeah, there's that. So just, yeah, having fun with that one. So now we have a hydraulic bottle jack from the great and all wonderful Harbor Freight, which works really well. It's just, I don't know, because I'm thinking I'm going to use this item here to take the tires, or at least debead them off of there. So when I get to that project, I will definitely try and set up a video for that. But that's another project I wanted to do, to see if I could actually make a tire machine itself, just out of scrap metal and things like that, instead of actually trying to go pay money time after time after time again, just trying to get your tires on and off. Because here in Florida, rubber and plastic don't last very long. So yeah, I don't know if I've seen tires worse than that, but that's pretty bad. So I'm gonna go ahead and try and remove the tires or whatever, debead them, and press down or right next to the rim here with that plate there, and use that for the muscle. So hopefully we can get to that soon, but if not, no biggie. Now this was a project of the past, maybe about a month or two ago. I was just getting ready to throw this out. I got it on clearance sale. I think it was like 10 bucks at Walmart, which is unbelievable because they don't sell chargers like this for 10 bucks. So it was on clearance, $10. It worked about 3 times and then it just stopped working. And I would get that flow kind of symbol, or disconnected actually, the disconnection symbol saying that there was no connection. So what I went ahead and did was take it all apart, and I was getting ready to salvage everything that I could out of it. You know, the fan, any wiring, capacitors, things like that that might be able to reuse in future projects. And I found the problem. So me being me, while I had it all apart, I went ahead and fixed it, which the charging cords that go to this battery down here actually burnt up right where they connect inside. So what I did was go ahead and just cut it back. I cut it back and I put more pigtails on the end of it, electrical connectors or something, and it's been working ever since. And yeah, see, anytime it goes under 2 amps, yeah, see, it switches over to flow. And the only reason that it's using flow right now is because there's a inadequate, or something's draining the battery, and I know what that is. It's just that figured it out, and it does that. So it's like a slow trickle charge to keep it going. But the other project that happened maybe 2, 3, 4 months ago maybe, is that this is the battery, and that's the connector to the battery to charge it. This is another alligator clip that runs all the way up to my garage speaker system, used off of a DVD touchscreen player that really sucks horribly. Yeah, that's dual for you. It sucked horribly in the car. It would consistently drain the battery, which is why this is showing a draw on it right now. So after about 3 days of my car sitting, which was unlikely, but you know, the few times that it did sit for 3 days, it would actually just drain the battery, and I'd come back and it was completely dead, you know, not wanting to start. So I couldn't deal with that. So I ended up tracing it back, and it was this radio here. This is actually not bad because I have a speaker system that I hooked into it, that long speaker bar that you can see there, the long black bar. So this actually connects to my phone, which I don't know if I should actually turn that on right now because I'm recording, but that's okay. It's a pretty good speaker system. It's better than the sound stick that I have right there. It is Bluetooth, that one, but it just does not have any kind of sound output. This one is Bluetooth, but it drains the battery. So that's why it's inside the garage and not doing the vehicles any harm, to where we're gonna get stuck out, you know, on a trip or something like that. And that's the last thing I'd ever want to have happen on purpose, especially if something I could, you know, fix and not show up as a problem whatsoever, you know. And here is yet another project. Here is a torpedo heater. And the heating element actually broke on the inside of this to get it started. So that's the only thing that's pretty much stopping this from running. And this runs off of anything oil. Used motor oil, trans oil, any kind of oil pretty much that you can think of. You could just mix it with diesel and it will fire and run. So that's something a little bit, you know, I don't mind doing, and I actually like, because I like heat. I am here in Florida. I do appreciate the 105-degree days. It is a bit much, but I still do really love those hot days, because it's better than being freezing. That's for damn sure. I used to hate being so cold all the time, you know, and just barely be like 15 days out of the year that are actually like hot. I'm more so a person that likes 15 days that are cold out of the year. So it is what it is, but you know, you move forward and go from there. This another project, because I took it off of the bench and I want to actually build a base for this to where I can put this on the floor or make it a little bit more mobile, to where I can actually use it without having to worry about it vibrating everything around it and just blowing up. So that is another project that I have to do really shortly, which I do have stands. Who the hell put that there? I have a stack of stands right here, which ought to make wonderful stands for the bottom of that bench grinder. I just actually have to prep them and get them together and make something cool out of it, because a lot of people throw away rotors and they never want to reuse them or things like that. So I'm that guy that likes to reuse things and repurpose them if I can, because I don't like to be too wasteful. I'm not the most perfect human being ever, but I do like to be semi, you know, resourceful. I mean, that instead of buying a new chainsaw, I got a carburetor, had carb problems. So I was like, why spend what, 150, 200, 250, you know, depending on the brand that you want and the size especially. Why buy a new chainsaw when you can buy a $25 carburetor and spend maybe 45 minutes of your life and save a ton of money, you know? So that's me. So this thing runs beautifully, and even if I store it for quite a while, it runs amazing. I love that chainsaw. I love chainsaws in general, but I do love that chainsaw. And just for record's sake, that is a Oregon double guard with what is that? Echo. You can hardly see it because it's faded out, but as the Echo chainsaw, and I really do love that oil pan, blower oil pan from the VQ35. So I'm just trying to, you know, I have a bunch of projects I need to get done and actually like get going, and as those come up and get done, I'll definitely be trying to, you know, show you guys what's going on. Hopefully I can give you guys some creative thoughts or tips, or just try to, you know what I mean, like use what you got and open your open up your brain. That's what I'm saying. Can't think of that word right now, but open up the brain and just really, you know, doesn't have to be everything that has to be, you know, brand new or anything like that. And I think this is the last project I will show you on this video. This is one, and this is the other. This thing is very powerful. Dayton, sorry. Old school clicker. I mean, this thing, it's got some resistance to it, but I think there's a bad wire. The wire itself has been repaired here. It's got electrical tape like all the way down here. It just does not feel right. It's got some kind of fraying right here that seems a little bit bubbled, and you can see that on the back side it's like a little bit bubbled. So this electrical cord has seen better days. Okay, there you go. actually put the light on. There we go. And there's even another break. So I think there's something wrong with the cord itself, but regardless, this works. The electrical cord is a problem. If I can't get this to work smoothly without seeming like an electrical fire of some sort, then I'm just gonna take the motor off of that and try to actually make something out of that, which I do have an idea for that, which is completely awesome. I hope you guys are tuned in for that one if I can get to that one and it goes that route. This one was, I don't usually go to yard sales, and because most of the yard sales around here are baskets and clothes and shoes. Not that shoes aren't clothes, but there's that. It's just a lot of knick-knacky kind of stuff. And this is one that I actually ended up asking a guy because he asked me if I was looking for something. I wasn't picking anything up, so I was like, I'm just kind of on a hunt for tools. And he came out back and was like, hey, like, I have this drill. And I was like, hey, I need a drill, because I was trying to do some sanding or something at the time. And basically in 10 minutes, bottom line, this thing locked up solid. I mean, oh, okay, so I'm twisting the head now. You can see that, but the fins aren't moving. So something in this head is messed up in here. So I was going to take that apart, see if I could actually salvage any parts out of that or fix it, but mainly salvage parts because I have 2 drills already, friend of land of Harbor Freight. So, and they work still. One of them, amazingly, is about 8 years old, I think, and is still working. Obviously way better than this one. And I have a new one because I couldn't find my old one at the time, and now it's just like, hey, like, yeah. So I'm gonna go ahead and try to see if I can salvage any parts out of that. That'll be another project, but yeah, this is me every day, working on some kind of project one way or another. There's always something to do. So hopefully you guys tune in next time. I will be starting one of these projects, and yeah, hopefully get some good things going here real soon, because I like that. I really do. The way that is, kind of just move that around. By the way, that holding that up is a brake line, and on top is a Edelbrock carburetor top. So everything here has just been stuff that's been laying around, and stuff that's just here. So I'm happy to have something like this hanging around my shop. So until next time, thanks for watching.